Lindsay. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a wife, I'm a new mom of a 6-week-old little boy. I'm a dog mom, homemaker, I love fashion, coffee, all the things. So if you like any of those things, or if you are any of those things, I have a feeling you're gonna like it around here, and I would love to be friends. So feel free to subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends. We have a lot of exciting, fun stuff coming. Today, I just wanted to have a fun little coffee chat, just like me and you are sitting on the couch together, and I'm just sharing this part of my life with you, so feel free to grab some coffee. But today I would love to share my pregnancy journey slash story. I feel like my pregnancy journey is a little different than your typical YouTube video that you hear about, or your reaction videos that you normally watch, where people are excited and they're crying and they're so joyful, or they've been trying for a long time, which is great, and it's so awesome when people find out that they're pregnant and it was exactly what they were praying for and hoping for. But my story looked a little bit different, and so I feel like this is not talked about enough. My hope is that if you have a similar reaction to finding out you're pregnant, or if you have a drastic life change like this was for me, that my story can just encourage you, and just know that you're not alone, and that it's normal. It's normal to have the feelings that I had, or just the reaction that I had. And so I'm actually going to maybe show clips of the video, my reaction video, even though it's very vulnerable, it's very real, it's very raw, but I do think sharing this can encourage someone out there that may be feeling similar and feeling really lonely feeling this way. So let's start from the beginning. January of this past year, so January 2022, right after Christmas break, my husband and I were traveling, and we got home. I had missed my period for like a month, but I didn't really think anything of it. I've always had irregular periods. I had just recently weaned off of a medication that I had been on for about 3 years. And so I just figured, you know, my body was doing weird things. It was maybe messing up my hormones, and that's maybe why I was missing a period. I didn't feel abnormal. I just figured, I really didn't even think about it until it had been over a month. And then I was like, oh, this is a little weird. I was like, you know what, maybe I should just take a test just to see, just to rule out. I know I'm not pregnant, but just to rule it out, because I always thought I was pregnant if my period was late. And so I was like, let's just see. I know I'm not, but just to like give me peace of mind, because I was a little anxious about it. And so I got a pregnancy test, and I took it that morning. My husband was at work, so I was by myself, and it ended up being positive. So I'm actually going to show a quick clip of this and my reaction really quick, and then I'll be back. Oh no, oh no, oh no. So, shocker, Lindsay, you are pregnant. And that was so not what I was expecting, so not what I wanted. It was such a weird moment. It's such a weird moment when you find out you're pregnant and you're the only person in the world that knows except God. And so it was just such a crazy moment of like, there's a baby inside of me, like what? And I just remember just feeling like my whole world just like stopped. I was just crying, and I was angry, and just so like, what the heck? Like, I am not ready for a baby. I don't really want to be a mom, like maybe one day in the future, but for right now, this is so not what I saw for my life. So I was really upset. Honestly, I feel like that can be normal. I feel like sometimes when you have an unexpected pregnancy, you feel guilty for feeling those feelings, but I just want to encourage you that it's okay if you do feel those feelings, because it's a drastic life change and it's a lot to process. So at times you can feel sad. Honestly, even if you were like planning a pregnancy, I feel like you can still have feelings of sadness, just because it's kind of you're grieving your life that you have now, and just things that you thought you'd be able to do before you had a kid. I really had to mourn what I thought my life would look like, and what I thought my marriage would look like. Me and my husband had only been married about 1.5 years. In June, this past June, it made 2 years. So ideally, I would have loved to waited like 5 or 6 years until having a baby. I was just really confused as to what the Lord was doing. I was just so like honestly angry at the Lord. I don't know, like this is just not what I wanted and not what I pictured for my life. So little did I know the next 2 months would be a very long 2 months of kind of like a depression state for me. I didn't want to talk to the Lord. I was mad at God. I was mad at just everything. I just was really sad. I was crying all the time. I was so sick. I had morning sickness, awful. Honestly, it took a lot of reflection and a lot of processing and honestly a lot of praying that I had to do. And finally, about after 2 months of kind of sitting in a state of depression, I was like, you know what? This is what God has for me. And I know that He tells me that His plans are they're for my good and they're not to harm me. And so kind of believing that truth of God, I know that this is your plan, even though this is not what I saw for myself, but I know that even though it doesn't feel good right now, that it's ultimately going to be for my good in the future. And I really just had to like surrender that to the Lord. And I remember it was one Sunday at church, I went down to the altar and was just like crying out to the Lord and honestly just surrendering all of my hopes, my dreams, things that I was clinging to so tightly to God, and just knowing that God, this is for my good. I know that you're going to bring good out of this. I know that this is what you want for me, even though this is not what I want. And I'm a little confused at that. And just being honest with God and just telling Him how I was honestly feeling. And I just remember just a wave of peace just came over me, and just like a burden like lifted off of my shoulders that I was trying to carry and cling to what I wanted so bad. And God just releasing that and just giving me peace and joy, honestly, and like me being excited about it. And so honestly, it was really honestly one of the biggest things that grew my faith. I feel like in my spiritual walk, I feel like it was something that forced me to get on my knees and completely surrender to God, because not only it was my life, but it was my baby's life and this human that was growing inside of me that I felt like a huge responsibility for, and felt like a whole new wave of like, I don't know, just like I'm responsible for this kid, I'm creating this kid, I'm gonna be its mom, like just like wild thoughts that are really overwhelming, but they are really cool. So throughout my pregnancy, I eventually, started to get more at peace and kind of coming to terms with, okay, I'm gonna be a mom, I'm having a baby. And honestly, I started to get really excited about it. And I think especially when we found out the gender, Hayes is a little boy. Once we found out that, I feel like it helped me kind of bond with him a little bit more and kind of like, okay, like this is cool, like I'm having a little boy, I'm gonna be mom. But I will say, like, I still had my days throughout my pregnancy of like, I didn't ask for this is not what I wanted. Definitely had thoughts of that, but I had to just keep reminding myself of the truth of that this is what God has for me, and I know it's for my good, and I know that He's gonna be with me. He's not gonna forsake me, and He's gonna walk with me through this. I'm not just gonna have to figure this out on my own, because that was definitely lies that the enemy kept telling me was, your life is over, your dreams are over, you're not gonna get to do all those things that you thought you could do, and your marriage is gonna be ruined, and you're gonna lose yourself, like just stuff like that. And I just feel like the Lord was just kept reminding me, Lindsay, this is what I have for you, and I'm gonna be with you. You're not gonna be alone. And I see you. I see all of your emotions. I see all of your tears. And so that was really cool, learning that God sees me throughout this whole pregnancy in a whole new way that I've never experienced before. And so anyways, my whole pregnancy was very great. It was a very healthy pregnancy. It really wasn't that bad. I had morning sickness really bad in the first trimester, and I was basically a zombie in the first trimester. But after the first trimester, I was a lot better. Until my third trimester, when my little boy decided to come like 8 to 9 weeks early. So that was crazy. And I'll do a whole separate video on my like labor and preterm labor and our NICU journey, because he was in the NICU for 8 days. And so what I've been learning now since becoming a mom, like I said, he's only 6 weeks old, so I'm still new. He's still a little newborn. I'm learning that this is what God had for me. And I do have joy, and I feel like I have a whole new sense of purpose since having a little boy that depends on me, and a little baby that brings so much joy. And even in the sleepless nights or the times where he's crying and I don't know how to help him, I just continue to learn that God sees me, and God sees those moments. He's with me. He's not going to leave me, that this is like a good thing. And truly been like really great. And if I can encourage you, if you just found out you're pregnant and you're just like, this is not what I wanted, or my life is over, that your life does not have to change when you have a baby. Like, you can still keep on doing whatever you did before, whatever your dreams are, that you can still do those with a baby. It may look a little different, and you may have to shift a few things or just be flexible, because babies are constantly changing and evolving. That it's okay. Like, you can still do it. You can still go to TJ Maxx and go shopping and go get your favorite coffee at a coffee shop. It just may look a little different, and you may have a little buddy to take with you. But I will say, like, after giving birth to Hayes, like, there really is such a like crazy supernatural thing that comes over you that just shows you like just like your motherly instincts and helps you like bond with this baby. My experience was a little different because Hayes was taken to the NICU right after he was born, so I didn't really have those like first moments, like skin to skin, stuff like that, and I didn't really get to hold him for the first week or so. So that was a little different, and I can make a whole separate video about that. But there is like a really cool, I don't know, God-given thing that comes over you that's like, I'm a mom and I gave birth to this human, and that was freaking cool, and I'm tough and I'm strong. And so my hope in sharing this with you, if you are like the Lindsay that fell on the floor when she saw that it said positive and was crying and screaming why, I just want to encourage you that it'll get better, and your feelings are valid, and process them and feel them and cry and be angry and do whatever you have to do to I don't know, just release those emotions, because it's true, you can be really taken off guard when a drastic life change happens that you were not expecting. But I think my biggest encouragement is just to hold on, and to that you don't have to carry them alone, and that God is with you, and that God's going to empower you to be a mom of this baby, and that he's anointed you to be this mom. Like, one of my favorite verses is that he wrote out all of my days in his book in Psalm 139. And it's so true. God wrote out in 2022 that Lindsay Lorette was going to be a mom of Hayes, and she was going to give birth to this little boy and become a mom. And even though that's not what she had, that's what I have. And it's written in my book. It's written for you, Lindsay, and my plans are not to harm you, but they're for your good. And so that's my biggest encouragement, is just hold on. It's okay if you're sad right now. It's okay if you're just like, this is not what I think I wanted. And I promise it's going to be good. And I promise that you're going to learn a lot along the way. You're going to transform into a completely different person. That's a little bit of my pregnancy journey. If you are pregnant, congratulations. It's a great thing. It's a happy thing. And if maybe you're searching this on YouTube because you're like, I just found out I was pregnant, there's got to be somebody else that felt this way because I feel guilty or I feel alone. No, I felt that same way. I was really, really upset, and I didn't want it, and I didn't want this to be a part of my life. But I chose to keep on, and I chose to trust that this is gonna work out and it's gonna be great. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be more videos to come. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope that this was encouraging for you, and I hope to see you next time. Feel free to like and subscribe. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!